What's up, people? I wanted to read a bit of Genesis 47. It's Joseph's leadership in the famine. So Pharaoh had a dream about the 7 years of prosperity and the 7 years of famine, and that was represented with the 7 big cows and the 7 skinny, scrawny cows. So at the moment, they're in the famine. I think it's the second or first year. I don't really remember, but I wanted to read a bit of it at the time. So 47 verse 13, I just wanted to read. Meanwhile, the famine became so severe that all the food was used up, and the people were starving throughout the lands of Egypt and Canaan. By selling grain to the people, Joseph eventually collected all the money in Egypt and Canaan, and he put the money in Pharaoh's treasury. When the people of Egypt and Canaan ran out of money, all the Egyptians came out to Joseph. "Our money is gone," they cried, "but please give us food or we will die." Joseph replied, "Since your money is gone, bring me your livestock, and I'll give you food in exchange for your livestock." So they brought their livestock to Joseph in exchange for food. And I believe in later on it says in verse 20, so Joseph bought all the land of Egypt for Pharaoh, and all the Egyptians sold him their fields because the famine was so severe as soon as the land belonged to Pharaoh. As for the people, he made them all slaves from one end of Egypt to another. And I think, I read this and I realized how grateful I am. Because here the people are not even upset that they became slaves. They're not angry, they're not mad that they have to work hard, they have to, these people, this was Joseph's last choice. He had no other choice. We see previously how throughout Joseph's as a leader in Egypt, it was easy. So what he would do, he would store up the food in the storehouses and he would give it to the people. But now that's run out and the famine's getting worse, he has no other choice but this. It's not like Joseph he's run out of choices. This is the smartest discerning person in the kingdom at the time. So if Joseph is struggling, then no one else is going to, even the magicians are not going to think of something. So this is Joseph's last resort. And the people here are not even upset that they have to be slaves. They're grateful. They are so grateful to even have, and they were able to have food for another year in verse 17. And the food kept on coming. And then it says in verse 24, then when you harvest it, 1/5 of your crop will belong to Pharaoh. You may keep the remaining 4/5 as seed of your fields as food for you, your households and your little ones. You have saved our lives. May it please you, my lords. Let us be Pharaoh's servants. So, yes, they're going to have to give everything. But that was for the little ones. And we're so grateful because we're in a world where there's so much happening, so much war. And I can wake up, have enough food. I can wake up to go to work. I can wake up being able to read my Bible. There's even in North Korea and Asia, they can't have access to a Bible. They can't have access to internet. They can't have access to go meet up, fellowship, or even eat this food. There's many countries struggling with food, and people will do anything for food nowadays. So the fact that this is the last resort and the people are not upset. Look how grateful they are to Joseph. Wow, we should be grateful to God that we are fine. We have clothes. I have a phone. I have technology I can use to show people the word. It's the humility to know that even the smallest things are big things for other people. University, it's people. Do you know how many people would want to go to uni to get an education? Do you know how many people would want a chocolate bar at this moment of time? So we need to be grateful for even the smallest things. The smallest things. For this tissue, I'm grateful for I can blow my nose. People don't have access to a tissue. It's serious out here. And the people here are grateful to be a slave, to even feed their little ones. We're grateful we don't have to be in that position because, our parents work very hard, you work very hard, and God is able to preserve that for you. He's able to preserve your life and give you that mercy and grace every single day when we don't deserve it. We should be destroyed. We shouldn't be alive. But we are, because we put our faith in Jesus Christ. And for those who haven't, you're missing out on the biggest treasure in your life. Instead, you put your treasure in the things of the world where thieves can steal. You know, it can rot or rot up. It doesn't satisfy. It doesn't last. It withers very quickly. But put your treasure, put your heart to heaven. No one's going to take that away. No matter what you have left. There's times where I've not had much money, not much food. Yet the food satisfies me of Christ. His words are my daily food. Job 23 verse 12. So we need to remember, guys, that we need to be grateful for where we are. Even you can watch this video in peace. For those around the world, wherever you are, be grateful that even brushing your teeth. That's like how grateful. Look how desperate these people are to Joseph. This is a real thing. This is real life. These famines are still continuing. We need to be grateful for those people who are not going through that as well as I am. So don't take the smallest things for granted. Don't take waking up every day for granted. Because God's mercy is still on this earth. I think it's a verse in Peter that talks about it. You can wake up every day with no bombs going loud, food in your belly, being able to get to work, protected. The Lord is waiting for you. He's reaching out his hand. Are you going to accept it? Time is running out. But yeah, I wanted to just... There's a God that came down to you. He came to this earth and made himself visible. There's a God who cares and went through so much. He went through... No one can describe what he went through on that cross. Come to him before it's too late. If you don't believe, at least read the Bible, at least read the Gospels. At least know what Christianity is. At least know why we put Jesus in such a high standard. At least understand why we can never stop preaching about him. At least know why we always go on the street talking about him. At least know why we are called crazy. Because we are in crazy love with a man that... He's everything to us. He's everything. What else do we need? At least discover that. At least read for yourselves in the 4 Gospels why Jesus is the best thing that's happened to a lot of people. And it's such a shame that so many people are going to miss out on it. There's people that are really going to not feel the love of God ever. And that's not because some is that they have never heard of it. But there's some that hear it and just turn away. But hey, if God can't save them, what can we do? What can I do? All I do is preach. That's my job. But be grateful for where you are, to wake up for the smallest things. And glory to Jesus for this video. He's really woken me up. I hope this video made sense. God bless you all.